Alright, g'day, hi and welcome. Okay, so, do you need a 7-string? Okay, I've seen some people talk about this topic, and I would put it this way. Do you want a 7-string guitar, or do you want a 6-string guitar with a 5-string bass? I'll show you what I mean. So, for the 7-string, I'm going to play a riff from a song I called The Running. Okay, so that's what that sounds like on this guitar. Now, because my 6-string does not have that lower B, I can down tune and get close to it, but I can't get that baritone sound. I can't get that heavy sound out of this, although I could get close. But this is a little bit trickier to play. Not trickier, but harder to play in the sense that you have to spread your fingers out more because of the longer scale. The width of the neck is not really that much harder to get used to. What gets hard to get used to on a 7-string is when you first go to hit an E chord, like an E flat chord, you hit A minor because your fingers are thinking going the middle of the guitar neck, which would normally be about there. So where your E flat is, you gotta, you will get used to it after playing for a few months or whatever. And whatever, and you'll get over the width thing pretty quickly, even. So sweep picking is a little bit harder because of that wider fretboard, whatever. But you get used to it too, and I'm a bit sloppy at it, so, don't use me as the prime example. But basically what you're getting with the baritone, that extra inch scale over the 25.5-inch scale with the 26.5-inch scale, is that extra heavy. And then, of course, if I was playing like an F sharp on that, that's a pretty heavy chord, right? Same tuning, same chord. Yeah. Hold that sound prop. Same chord. Can you hear that extra right there, right? So, okay, so maybe you play the 7-string and it's not your thing. That'll take care of it. Or in the, picture the 6-string going, okay, and the first riff. Right? I got my low B there. So a 6-string, teamed up with, even in standard tuning, with a 5-string or a 6-string bass, something with a low B on it. If you have one of those radical 7-string basses, well, that's another planet altogether. You'll get an F sharp there. That low B can do a lot, right? It'll give you that, it just gives you that punch in the drive, and you have a longer scale length, so you get more baritone sound that way because it's a bass. So if you don't have the comfortability feel out of your 7-string, and some guys have went to the 7-string and then they find themselves going back to the 6-string just because of the doing these radical chords. The hardest chord I know is some sort of a the Joe Satriani, Always With Me, Always With You. That is a very hard chord to switch quickly on that longer scale, right? So some guys go back from the 7th string, but you can hear that authority that the 7th string brings. So if you want that authority in the sound, yeah, you'll go with the 7th string. But when you're into the leads, that's where that thing's gonna, well, just gonna nail it here. My action's a little higher on this than it is on that, but hold that sound in your head. So you can sort of hear that it's a little sweeter sounding and tighter sounding on the shorter scale, right? So I've done an action adjustment on it, so my picking's a little easier on this, but go back to the 7th string. So it sounds like it's down a bit, like tone, like tuning wise, but it's not. It's still in standard tuning. It's just that playing it here sounds like on there, sounds like you're playing it down here on this, right? So that's what the baritone gives you. It gives you down there. It doesn't give you up here. So for guitar solos, a lot of guys like baritone guitars, but a baritone guitar is basically like playing a broken E on a 7th string. And you got B to B, and then there goes your soloing potential, right? So it's nice to be able to solo, so you go with the 7th string so you can still solo. And if soloing is, you know, shredding is not your number one thing, and you really want to get a heavy rhythm, and you know, you can still do great solos on a guitar like this. You know what I mean? Like, the guitar is as good as you are. You know what I mean? But it's just easier on the shorter scale. So a short scale guitar with a heavy bass can give you very close to this. So you still get the liveliness of the shorter scale with enough punch, but you're diverting all the punch to the bass. Where with the 7th string and that, you're getting extra super duper duty punch. So that's kind of the dilemma people find themselves in, is whether they want that extra, that low B, because it just gives you so much. You know, it just gives you so much chunk there, right? So the cost is longer scale, got to work a little bit harder to do stuff, and wider neck. That's what you're trading off for ease of playability and whatever. Best setup, to tell you the truth, is have your rhythm guitar player playing the 7th string, your bass player with a 5 or 6 string, something with a really low B or whatever on it, and then have your shredder lead guitar player cranking out on this to give that extra liveliness and snappiness to the same riff. So when he can be going in another position, just making the chord from this wide to this wide, and then to make the chord this wide, you add the bass in there. And when you compose in that way, you'll understand Tool to the job a lot better, but you'll also, it gives you more options. So for me, yes, the 7th string is definitely going to be something for a long time for me. But I also see myself upgrading to a 6-string bass as well. I'll never get rid of the 6-string guitar just because they're remarkable, but just a little bit food for thought. So anyway, there you go.